Hey everyone!
Hello, couch video.
Couch cruise video.
Couch CCV.
Wow. So what are we doing today, Brandon, in this at-home vlog?
I may let Sarah take this description over because we actually have notes for this one.
We have notes.
Notes on her phone. I almost handed one, but I used a typewriter. No, just kidding. Used our computer. But no, we've had multiple comments. We want to do this anyway, but we had multiple comments from our patrons, from our YouTube channel, from the Facebook page. People wanted to know our opinions. Again, these are going to be just our opinions. Mm-hmm. Comparing and contrasting the larger Disney cruise ships versus the smaller Disney cruise ships. I'm sure there's names for them. I don't mean the names of the ships like the Magic and the Dream.
The Dream class, which are the new ships. So the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy. Okay. And then the Magic class, which is the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. Okay. And then coming soon, we will have...
The Wish class?
The Triton class, which will include the Wish. That doesn't seem to be
named properly, but we'll go with it. The Triton class.
Take it up with DCL.
Yeah, I might call you DCL. No, the Triton class, obviously named after probably, King Triton from The Little Mermaid, I'm guessing. Makes sense. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So I did not know that. So the Dream class, the Magic class, and then out of nowhere, the Triton class. So I'm good. But yeah, we are comparing, but we're not going to compare and contrast the Triton class because we've not been on it yet. No. September. So go ahead, Sarah. Let's explain it a little better than I just did, probably.
Okay. Well, I think what we are hoping to do is just kind of share our overall thoughts, right?
Yes.
Because we have sailed on both classes of ships. So we've been on the Disney Dream. We just got back from the Disney Magic. If you've not seen those vlogs,
they'll be linked somewhere.
Yeah, check them out. They were fun. But I think just kind of talking through if you were thinking about going on a Disney cruise, or maybe you have a type of ship on the Disney cruise you're used to going on. Maybe you go on the Dream because that's a very popular one because it goes out of Port Canaveral. Yeah. Or maybe you're thinking about one of the other ships.
Yeah, and before we get started, which we're about to do, these are our opinions, and feel free to leave a comment if you agree, disagree, and if we do get something wrong, leave that comment too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
we do not know all
we don't know everything, and again, these are our opinions, and opinions are subject to change in the future.
Yeah, and we also have not been on the Fantasy, and we have not been on the Wonder, although it feels like we should have been on the Wonder at this point because we've canceled and rebooked so many Alaska cruises.
Listen up, Alaska cruise. We're coming for you. We've had to cancel, 3 times now? Reschedule, cancel, whatever.
3 or 4 times
3 or 4 times now, but you will see an Alaskan cruise vlog someday on this channel. So stay tuned.
Yes, so...
But in saying that,
we're definitely looking forward to trying out the different ones. We'll be on the Wish soon. So these are just our general thoughts right now based on the ships that we have sailed on. So I think kind of the first thing we were thinking about is just the overall themes of the ships. Like the style, the Art Deco, Art Nouveau. What do you think?
I like them all.
There you go.
No. I'm trying to be very careful. Sarah has these amazing notes that I'm looking down at that are all in nice order. Mine are all over the place. Like I jump around. So, but yeah,
do you want to maybe talk about sort of
specific
the size?
Areas?
What was I say? Maybe we can kind of start with the size and then look at the staterooms, and there we'll talk a little bit about the themes.
The theming from there.
Yeah.
Okay, good call. Everyone, you're watching it happen live.
In real time,
recorded.
Oh my gosh. So I think one of the big things that people will find is the big difference between both the kinds of ships is the size. So the Disney Dream in particular, and the Fantasy as well, hold about 4,000 passengers versus the Magic and the Wonder, which hold about 2,700 passengers. So the size is noticeably different.
And it's noticeable when you're on there too. Not just with the amount of people, but I mean in terms of the actual hallway sizes and the atrium, the lobby area, whatever. It's an atrium, technically, right? Is much smaller on the smaller. I mean, of course it's smaller. It's on a smaller ship, but it noticeably.
Yeah, I think you get kind of more of the narrow hallways, smaller communal spaces like the atrium. I feel like it's kind of like the comparison between Disneyland and Disney World, where it's over time they've learned what spaces need to be bigger. Especially thinking about capacity. So yeah, you're definitely, it feels a little bit more intimate and cozy on the Magic. Like we were like, oh, it's so tiny and wee.
Yeah, it's a tiny wee little ship. I mean, when you get on, if it's the first ship you ever go on is one of the smaller Magic class ships, it's going to seem huge probably if you've never been on one before. But if you come from one of the larger ships to one of those, it's noticeably smaller. And oddly enough, though, once you get used to it, it feels vaguely, not completely, again, we'll go into our final stuff later, but it almost feels better because you can get everywhere very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
I think definitely one of the big things that I had on note was kind of the navigability and the location of things is very nice because everything is much easier and compact to get to when you're on one of the classic ships like the Magic or the Wonder, and then the Dream, still very easy to get to things.
No issues navigating at all.
The hallways are a lot longer. You know, you've got more distance to go to get to something, more decks to go to. So just some things to think about, but by and large, you know, yes, the size is noticeable, but I would say if you are sailing on, say, the Dream and then you go on the Magic, it still feels very familiar. Very easy to navigate because it's a very similar style.
Very similar. I think Sarah's comparison of Disney World and Disneyland, was that on the spot or were you prepared for that?
No, it was on the spot.
It was on the spot. It's dead on. It's like if you've only been to Disney World, let's say, which millions of people have only been to Disney World, and then you go to Disneyland, it's going to feel smaller, more compact, but you won't have an issue probably navigating it. You adjust very quickly to, Matterhorn's over there, and we don't have it at Disney World here, but your brain compensates very, very rapidly. I really liked that no matter where we were on the Magic, it didn't even, front of the ship, back of the ship, it didn't even, middle of the ship, it didn't matter. We're very close to our stateroom. We could get there in minutes. And I think that's important sometimes when it's late at night or something. On the Dream, there have been times where it's like, do we really? We do usually, but do we really want to go to the adult section of the ship and we have to walk all the way back? Yeah, because all the locations are different and the rooms sometimes are so far away that it could take 20 minutes to walk back to your room versus 3.
Yeah, that's true because it is flip-flopped on some of the ships. Like on the Magic, the adult areas for the bars and lounges are forward in the front of the ship, and on the Dream, they're aft in the back of the ship, but then you've got the adult pools, Cove Cafe, or forward on the Dream. So it's like, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I want to walk.
Do I really want to walk that far? Which, again, to say a 15, 20-minute walk is on a cruise ship is something you think, but guess what? You do sometimes.
Yeah, but even the elevators are smaller on the Magic, but I felt like for us, it was like, okay, we can take the elevator, or the stairs are not as bad because, again, things are closer to get to.
Yeah, much closer.
So, and speaking of size, the other thing that we noticed that was kind of interesting on the cruise, and actually, I believe they're a little bit bigger on the classic ships, are the staterooms. So the staterooms are set up very similarly. There's some slight differences, which I'm sure Brandon will mention some of them. But one of the things is, from my perspective, the room is actually a little bit bigger. It's actually, I think, about 20 square feet bigger for the veranda compared to the ones on the Dream, which I thought was kind of interesting. And the big thing we noticed that was more storage on the classic ships. Felt like there was more storage. It feels
like it. Yeah, now I'm sure maybe some super person will leave a comment saying we're completely wrong. And if we are, leave that comment. But we talked about it multiple times on the cruise. It definitely feels like there's more storage on the smaller ships in your rooms.
Yeah, more storage. And then the other thing that I think we thought was bigger, and it was just taller.
Number one on my list, everyone. Listen, I'm going to put this down. Let's talk. Let's talk. And this might be the most I say in this whole, I don't mean that in a bad way. This is what I have a lot to say about, more than anything on this list.
The bathrooms?
Yeah, the bathrooms.
It's important.
They are important because guess what? You go to the bathroom for multiple reasons. And on the larger ships, the Dream and the Fantasy. If that's all you know, okay, that's great. But listen, we're not the tallest people. We're average height. Well, Sarah's tall. But I'm average height, I guess. 5'9", 5'10", something like that. On the Dream, when I take a shower, and Sarah too, you might have this much headroom. And maybe next time we go on the Dream, we'll fully closed. Film us stepping into it so you can actually see that. But if you've been on it, you know what we're talking about. You have maybe this much headroom, and if you're 6 foot or something, my guess, I'm not 6 feet tall, but if you are, my guess is you're doing this, and that's my assumption. we were shocked. I was shocked, especially walking into the Magic's bathroom. Again, they're both double bathrooms. You have a sink and toilet in one, and a sink and shower in the other, split bathroom. The shower on the smaller ships, it's bigger. We had what, this much headroom?
Yeah, and
noticeably bigger.
I also thought the way that it was set up with the shower head and stuff was actually better, more stable. But
more stable shower heads. You felt like you were actually in a shower, maybe at home or something. I didn't. On the Dream, not Dread, that's ridiculous. It's one of those shower time, because it's weird. It feels squished and everything. It's a larger ship, but the bathrooms are more condensed. Walking into the Magic's bathrooms, okay, showering, you're like, cool, you have headroom in there. You have actual headroom. Again, is it small? Sure. It's not like you're going to have it home or something like that, but much better. You don't feel squished in those showers there, and we were surprised by that. Other than that, are we still talking about the rooms in general? Are we still there?
I don't know if there's any other things. The only other things I had for the rooms is that some of the stuff on the Magic, especially, were delightfully like late 90s, like the outlets, and they had like an old school hairdryer in the bathroom.
A Flowbee. They had a Flowbee, everybody. And we mentioned that in our video walkthrough. Watch our video walkthrough. It's just a fan, or what is it? What'd you say it was?
It's a hairdryer.
A hairdryer. I don't use a hairdryer, but it's a hairdryer, but it's one of those big boxes that looks like a jetpack, like on a wall with a big tube coming off of it. Looks like a Flowbee. Yeah, and oddly enough, though, it worked.
Yeah, I didn't use that one. I used the one in the drawer.
Yeah, but it did work. Also, if we're talking about the rooms, if we're staying here before we move on, the couch and everything.
Oh, the furniture was just needed probably some refurbishment.
Some refurbishment.
They've been used. They've been lovingly used
if you sit on the Dream couch, bed, you sit on it, feels normal, feels good. This one, no matter what, it didn't matter where you sat on the couch. It made that springy sound, and you kind of squish down into it. The bed, kind of the same way. Bed was better than the couch. But yeah, just sitting on the couch. I can't do a spring sound, everyone. If you do a spring, you know what I'm talking about. That little, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so we won't dwell on that. But rooms do feel a little bigger on the smaller ships. I would argue, again, unless someone has actually done the measurements, you have more storage on the smaller ships. And the bathrooms are better, most notably because of the showers. If you're a taller person, then the smaller ships are, oddly enough, probably for you for shower purposes, at least. So I think that's it with the rooms.
Yeah, right? The only other thing I was going to mention was the if you've sailed on the Dream or the Fantasy, you have to have a key card.
I was about to say,
that's the only thing that I was like, I don't have to. I mean, of course, we want to make sure that we conserve energy. But it was kind of nice not to have to take the extra step to put a key card in to turn the lights on and off in your room. Yeah,
we understand that. Yeah, on the larger ships, again, like Sarah said, you put your key card in a little thing and you can turn your lights on then. Smaller ships, nope, you can just flip them on. And I prefer that too, because it just, sometimes you're coming in late. Maybe you've been to an adult section and had some drinks or something, and now you're fumbling with your card to put it in there. But no, it's never been an issue for us. But yeah, it was nice to not have to take it out, slide it in there. So.
Yep. So I think that's all I had for the rooms. Do you have any other things for the rooms in your hodgepodge notes?
Hold on. For the rooms, no. My biggest thing was the stateroom bathrooms.
Okay.
So
moving on to the other thing that I think is probably a noticeable difference between the different ships is the dining. So, of course, on all the Disney cruise ships, they are known for the rotational dining. So you go to 3 different main dining rooms. They all have a different theme, but the themes are definitely different across ships. So on the Dream, for instance, you've got Enchanted Garden, Royal Palace, and Animator's Palette. On the Magic, you have Animator's Palette, Lumiere's. Triton's is on the Wonder. And then Rapunzel's Royal Table.
Very cool.
So I think you're going to get different themes. The one things that we've seen is both the Magic and the Wonder have been refurbished. So they've had some upgrades to their dining. So they have some more themed experiences. And also their Animator's Palette.
Listen, everybody.
Oh, no.
We already did this in our, Sarah has linked it, will link it. We talked about this in our debrief video when we got back from our cruise. Or actually that night we went to Animator's Palette, probably. And from some of the comments we got, some great comments from you guys. the animator's palette on the other larger ship does do the animation?
The Fantasy does do the animation.
Okay, I didn't know that, so I may have spoken incorrectly in our video. So again, that's why we encourage you, if we do get something wrong, comment so other people can see that as well. However, on the Fantasy, is it still themed like it is on the Dream?
I believe so.
Okay, so listen everybody. Animator's palette on the Magic is not just superior. To quote the great James Cameron film Aliens, it nukes it from orbit.
Oh no.
The animator's palette on board the Dream. This might be unpopular to some, and I apologize. We are not the largest fans of animator's palette on board the Dream. No. Multiple reasons. We don't hate it. We don't want
food and the theme.
Yeah, it's Turtle Talk with Crush, and it looks weird. Some of the food's okay though. But the animator's palette on board the Magic looks amazing. It makes sense with the theming. I love the black and white aesthetic of it. That gains color throughout the night. That you get to draw your little character and it comes to life on the screen. Which again, we're told does happen on board the Fantasy, which that is awesome. But the whole look of this animator's palette, from the long hallway you walk down to sit, again, there's footage and photos all over the place, and our own videos too. But if you want to do some, look that up yourself. We are not fans of animator's palette necessarily on board the Dream, but on the Magic, we had a thoroughly enjoyable time. Nukes it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure, everybody. No. But yeah, really, really, really good. Now I went off on that tangent, and we're still talking about the rotational dining. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say I love the Magic, especially, and even the Wonder, having more of the theme. So I hope when the Dream gets dry docked next time, that they do maybe more of a kind of a dinner show theme style one. Although I fear when they do that, Enchanted Garden is going to go goodbye. We like Enchanted Garden.
We like Enchanted Garden.
But there's definitely a little bit of difference there. So you get different themes. Rapunzel's Royal Table, I think, is probably our favorite rotational dining, just for the overall theme. The food is maybe not our most favorite, but we really liked the food.
The food was really good. The theming at Rapunzel's on board the Magic was incredible. Transported you. I can't. It sounds cheesy saying it, but it feels like it transported you into that cartoon. Yeah. Twisted, Tangled. Everyone, I actually like that movie quite a bit. I own it on Blu-ray 3D, but it's a great movie and it's a great restaurant. I like the dinner show they do there. Now we went, as of the filming of this video, during the kind of restricted COVID times and everything. So the characters mainly stayed on stage.
Right.
If you do research on this, you might see other videos from others where they kind of walk around and interact and everything.
Like a character meal that you would see at Disney World.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the theming's awesome with the lanterns hanging from the ceiling, and then at the end of the night, at the end of your dinner service, they walk around with the lanterns for a fun. It's very sweet. It's very cool. It looks great. It's lit well. Thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, and I know we haven't been on the Wonder yet, but everyone raves about Tiana's.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And that's another one that's very fun, interactive. So I think you're getting a little bit more of that, but we may see some more of that in the future with the Dream and the Fantasy when they get dry docked, or once we get the Wish and other ships online.
DCL, do it.
It was great. Yeah, it was great.
It's great.
So the rotational dining, again, you're just going to have different themes, but it really does work very much the same way. A lot of the menus are very similar or the same. Yeah. So there's not a huge difference there. And then adult dining, there's a slight difference between the classic ships and the new ships in that the Dream class has the addition of Remy. So there's 2 adult dining locations. So you've got Paolo, you've got Remy, and on the Magic, it's just Paolo.
Just Paolo. Now this is complicated, everybody. So we can't really compare and contrast the Remy experiences because the little ships don't have Remy. However, let's talk about Remy very quickly for just a minute or two. Remy, for me and Sarah, we have talked about this, so I'm speaking for both of us, and I want her to chime in. It's our best dining experiences we've ever had.
Oh, yeah. It's
ever phenomenal. In our lives. Not just Disney restaurants, any other restaurant we've ever been to. It is the best dining experience, and if you go on board the Dream or the Fantasy, it's highly recommended. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Highly recommended, although bring your nice clothing.
But I do think that's the nice thing about all of the newer ships is that you do get some options. So
Yeah.
maybe you like fine dining. Maybe you like more of the kind of signature style that's kind of in between fine dining and just a nicer restaurant like Palo. So you get...
Which takes us to
Palo.
To Palo. It's amazing on both. It's amazing everywhere.
Yep.
But, Sarah.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Should we just pull the bandage off? Which one did you prefer, Dream or Magic?
I actually think I preferred the Magic, and that's because, and this is interesting because there is a walkway all the way around the one on the Magic where people walk past, and sometimes you'll see people taking photos and stuff at the back of the ship. That didn't actually bug me because if you're on like the Dream, there's no obstructed view. It's
you
just
get the ocean.
You get the ocean,
which is gorgeous.
But it didn't bug me. I still thought you got more of a 360 look of the back of the ship, and I liked it. Felt more open and bright, and
the whole thing just
I don't know. I just felt
when
more
you get
cozy.
when you get off the elevator or walk up the steps on board the Magic to enter the Palo section, the little area before you go into the restaurant, the whole hallway is themed. Yeah, the entire hallway is themed.
Well, it's like that on the Dream and the Magic.
Well, on the Dream, though, you have that adult section entry area, then it divides you off into Remy and Palo, right? Yeah. So, this one felt like it was more Palo extending outward.
That's true. Because it's more neutral because of the other two.
Again, I might be describing it wrong, but listen, that section on board the Dream is incredible with the nice leather walls and everything. It's incredible. But just Palo itself, on its own, just Palo, it's just, I think when you walk in, it feels bigger, in a good way, bigger and more inviting.
Open. Especially like for brunch, it just feels very light and airy.
And I thoroughly enjoyed being able to see into the kitchen. Again, some people may not care about that, and that's awesome. And we normally don't care about that. This time, though, it just seemed to make it a little more special, especially because we have special diets, as I'm sure a lot of our viewers do. We had on this most recent cruise on board Palo on board the Magic had a chef who do you remember his name right now?
Oh, Saduk.
Saduk, who not only was an incredible chef. We said this in our video, so I won't dwell on it here, but he did the classic, the thing you hear on all the reality TV kitchen shows and everything. He, quote, ran his kitchen, ran his brigade, like Gordon Ramsay would say. But he actually did that. After he took our order with all our allergies and stuff, we saw him. Far away from us, but in our sight, lining his people up. You do this, you do this. He was reading the allergies and everything. It was great to see it. Normally I wouldn't even comment on stuff like that, but it was really neat to see a professionally run kitchen with a professional chef running the kitchen. So again, you may not care about that, but normally we don't. I thought it was really cool. So
it was cool. Yeah, so I think, you've got great options on both ships. Theming's just slightly different. You've got a little bit less options on the Magic and the Wonder, but still great. You're going to still love Palo. The only other thing with dining is, of course, you have Cabanas, which is the buffet. Oh, yeah. I didn't really notice anything major difference on that. I mean, it's still big. There's still outdoor seating.
I think this is just, I'm speaking off the cuff. Sarah and I did not discuss this beforehand. This is just my little gray matter up here, thinking back on the cruises. I think the Dream maybe looked a little bigger, a little new and refreshed.
I think it's a little bigger.
To me, it looked a little better, but that's just not by much. It's Cabanas. Yeah. It's a all you care to enjoy.
Buffet.
A buffet. I couldn't think of the word buffet, everybody, because normally we don't eat there. But we did on this last cruise. But no, it's just a buffet. Decent food there. Dream maybe looked a little better, but other than that, it's Cabanas, and you've all seen footage and everything.
Okay, so moving on to some of the other adult-specific things on the ship. So I've got them highlighted by 4 different areas. The first is lounges. So again, like the rotational dining, you have different themes. So like on the Dream, you have Pink, which is a champagne and wine bar.
I do have that, everybody.
Yeah, and then you have Skyline Lounge. You've got all sorts of options. Same with the Magic. You're going to have things like Keys and O'Gill's, which is a pub. So there's just a little bit different style.
O'Gill's.
We were not a fan.
What? I'm not encouraging everyone to go click on our videos, but Gills.
Well, I will say other people were definitely fans.
Other people were definitely fans because it was very busy. So if O'Gills is your thing, that is awesome. And maybe it will be our thing because we're going to try it again one day. I do have the adult section on here. And I even have in my little notes, it's awesome on board the Magic, but the Dream, I think, overall is better.
I think we really like the ones on the Dream a lot. So
you have
just our personal preference.
Skyline Lounge is probably our favorite lounge we've been to on any of the ships.
Mm-hmm.
And Pink Wine Bar, loosely themed off the
Dumbo.
I know.
I
say it every time. I almost stop myself. Again, if you watched our videos, hopefully you're probably saying what they've said. So everyone, look, let's just say, okay, Dumbo is probably the best Disney animated film of all time. It is also, without a doubt, I'm not being sarcastic, it is the best of the live-action Disney remakes of any of their animated films. None of them even come close to Tim Burton's Dumbo. Okay.
I feel like I just need to have you just record that once, and I just pop it in every single time. Be like, every time.
If you agree with me.
Oh my gosh! So
yeah,
the
Pink
lounges
is
are
amazing.
definitely fun. That's there's always something different, and every ship has a different kind of style and flavor of lounges. But those are always great. You will also get seminars, so beverage seminars are pretty universal across the ships. The difference is you have them in different locations. So like we did a wine tasting on the Dream, and it was in Pink,
which was awesome.
Which was awesome. But the spacing was definitely smaller because it's a smaller lounge.
Yeah, good call.
But then we did the wine tasting in Keys on the Magic, and it was very spacious.
And
which actually kind of makes the difference.
So yeah, I think if we could only go to one of them, I'd rather go to Pink over Keys. However, for the tasting, I'd probably rather go to Keys over Pink.
Yeah, you just got more space.
You got more space. So yeah, that's a good call.
So just something to think about.
So overall, though, I think we both agree the adult sections, the adult lounges and stuff on board the Dream we enjoy them more.
Yeah, this is our personal.
That's our personal preference in terms of aesthetics and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. So moving up to the adult sections on the different decks, Cove Cafe.
This is
again pretty much the same style, but the theme is different. The size of the Cove Cafe location is slightly different. So
this is a hard one.
That really depends on, again, one of the things we didn't really talk about is the overall theme of the ship. They both have a very Art Deco kind of vibe to them, the Dream and the Magic. But the difference is we felt like the Magic was very much more like Great Gatsby style, 1920s Art Deco, where it was like a lot of gold and kind of that more classic Art Deco vibe, whereas the Dream felt a little bit more opulent.
I'm going to say something, everybody. Okay. And I just thought of this right now because Sarah said Great Gatsby, which we did discuss on board. We did discuss this. Yeah, the Magic is more, they're both Art Deco. Again, before we say anything further, we are not art historians or anything. We did not go to college for that or anything like that. If my dad were here, maybe he could be a lot more informative. But no, yeah, they're both Art Deco. Sarah is dead on. The Great Gatsby, what's in your mind for Great Gatsby type stuff is much more aboard the Magic. I think, in my opinion, the Dream looks more like, has anyone played one of the best games of all made, BioShock?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, it looks more BioShocky. Again, if you're not into games, you may not know what I'm talking about. If you are, leave a comment. Should Sarah finally play BioShock?
Yeah, for some reason I've never played them.
I don't know why. Leave a comment if you think Sarah should go through the BioShock games.
I have them.
Would you kindly leave a comment? So
anyways,
it's great.
Looping it back to the Art Deco. Cove Cafe to us on the Magic felt like very Great Gatsby goes on vacation.
Oh, they had the suitcases and everything.
It did the artwork on the inside.
Look, Great Gatsby is from like covers to the novels.
Yeah, kind of like that. And again, more light, more airy, more bright.
Plants and flowers.
Versus the Cove Cafe on the Dream, which has much more dark wood and more kind of almost like a cigar smoking kind of lounge.
Yeah, I'm going to say something. I think I like them equally.
They're both really nice.
I think it would be, for me, if I had them both to pick from on the same ship, 2 Cove Cafes. I think it would be a mood thing, whatever mood I'm in, actually. That's weird, but I like...
The one on the Dream feels more like an evening type lounge.
Yeah, it does.
The one on the Magic feels more like a daytime, morning.
Morning, daytime. Good call. On board the Magic, you want to go to their Cove when it's light out. On board the Dream, you'd like to go when it's darker out. Yeah. Good. There it is.
There we go.
Sarah, say it. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. No, she's right, and that's why she's smarter than I
am. Oh no.
So, but no, that is dead on her saying that out loud. Yeah, I agree completely. Awesome.
There we go.
There we go.
And then my other thought was Senses Spa. So we actually decided not to experience Senses Spa and the Rainforest Room on the Magic, and that was because of the difference between the Dream and the Magic, because you all know we love the Rainforest Room, which has, on the Dream, has jacuzzi with great outdoor views of the ocean.
Awesome.
It has these great lounger chairs and showers and saunas. And it's just a really nice kind of relaxing place to go. We always get a day pass and just kind of go one day of our cruise and relax and enjoy throughout the day. We go off and on. And we decided for a couple of different reasons not to do it on the Magic. But the big reason was the theme. So the fact that on the Magic it is smaller and it does not have any outdoor spacing. Yeah. So there's no jacuzzis in there and there's no outdoor space. So you just get the loungers, the saunas, and then some of the showers. And to us it felt like that was maybe not as worth the value for what they were charging. Yeah, I was not paying what they were going to charge for a 2-hour block for there, because that seemed kind of crazy. Because of the restrictions right now, they're doing reservations for it differently as opposed to sort of pre-pandemic times.
Restrictions, or we went during the restriction times on our most recent cruise, but given that even during non-restriction times, it was the same price. Is that correct?
It was the same price, yeah.
And you're missing the hot tubs or the jacuzzis, and which are kind of indoor-outdoor type things, like they're on a deck, but it's kind of enclosed with one opening that you can kind of lean out.
But even the loungers get the outdoor visibility. Kind of that, indoor-outdoor space, which coming soon on the Wish. I'm very excited about. Their Rainforest Room will have indoor-outdoor, like actual indoor-outdoor areas with jacuzzis.
Have they had photos of this room?
Yeah, I've sent them to Brandon. He just doesn't remember.
Everyone listen. Everything.
I was very excited.
Everything she emails me, texts me, sends me, talks about, I read, I watch, I listen to. Sometimes I forget. But I didn't know that. That is awesome.
Yeah. Every time they're doing a new ship, it's like they're plussing up things in the Senses Spa. So we did not really experience a lot of the Senses Spa. We did not do the fitness area on the Magic, but they, of course, again, everything's just a little bit smaller, but I think you're still going to get great service. It just depends on what you want. But if you are a Rainforest Room fan, I would probably skip that unless it's like a real priority for you.
I agree. Rainforest Room and Senses Spa on board the larger ships, incredible, amazing. Smaller ships, like I said, like Sarah just said, if it's a priority, like you need to do it, then do it.
Or like maybe if we're on a long cruise and we have a couple sea days, maybe we go get there. Like, but I wouldn't probably prioritize it. So that's a noticeable difference. Any other adult things? The pools are slightly different. We talked about that in our Q&A video.
Nothing else about the adult section.
Okay. And then sort of moving into sort of general stuff like the entertainment, we did not go to any of the shows on the Magic, but runs very similarly. They have the same theater. It's a little bit smaller, but the same kind of Broadway style shows. So those are still available. We're not necessarily big show people, but I think size is probably the main difference. And the theme is different. Just like the rotational dining, you're going to give it different themes of the shows. So maybe you're getting a Tangled show on the Magic versus Beauty and the Beast on the Dream. Yeah. So that's definitely one thing. In terms of the shopping area is definitely smaller. Again, that's probably the big thing. Just slightly different sizing.
Shopping, I think, is better on board the larger ships for obvious reasons. The shopping experience we had on board the Magic was really good with incredible cast members. Absolutely so incredible. Maybe Sarah, do you remember?
Grace from Australia.
There it is.
Rockstar. Neil from Scotland.
Yeah, if you're somehow watching this right now.
I'm trying to think of some of the other people that we had. Oh gosh, what was his name from the Dominican Republic?
There were some amazing. We'll put the caption up.
Put some photos of everybody. They were people. Phenomenal.
So when we say the shopping is, quote, better on board the larger ships, we don't mean in terms of the people or the cast members, but in terms of just different stores and the room you have to walk around in.
Slightly less merchandise. And spacing.
Yeah, so larger ships better for shopping. It feels more like a shopping area versus one little store in a corner kind of thing. On board the Magic, it felt like here's the store. On board the Dream, it felt like here's the shopping area. Amazing cast members. I just want to say that again because, dang, they were really good.
The cast members on the Magic really made our cruise. They were just so phenomenal.
Yeah. So.
And then kind of the last area I had, and then we can kind of leave it to Brandon's hodgepodge notes. So I have outdoor areas. So some of the differences, deck 4, the promenade deck, which is one of our favorite decks on the ship, and the walking area. We love so much real wood. They have an actual teak wood deck that we saw them maintaining. We actually talked to some cast members, and they said they take great pride in making sure that deck and that wood is properly maintained, and it just, you could tell it's real wood.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but you can tell the wood on board the Magic, and we were told it's a lot of the wood, not just the decking.
Yeah, the door
frames are all real wood.
Handles, railings.
Yeah, now on the Dream, it looks like real wood, but it's not. It's Disney Magic. But yeah, on the Magic, it literally, again, I'm not an expert in woodworking, it feels better. The wood feels better when you touch somewhat. It just feels better. The decks look better, and you can tell. Sarah's dead on. We did talk to some people. The pride that we saw in the people maintaining that deck, like there was actual pride in those people, which was amazing. However, a con. Let's talk about a con. They're much more squished. Because it is smaller, like we said. So if you're going for a jog around the deck or something like that, you might have to move over maneuver a little bit. When we sat in the chairs we love, which you guys all know what chairs we love, the nice reclining chairs, you're kind of out in the space a little more, so people are going to walk much closer to you versus on the larger ships where it's much more room on those ships. I think no pun intended by saying my dream would be somehow to combine them. I'd love the size of the larger ships with the quality of the smaller ships.
Yeah, I think it's hard though, and I understand that just with maintenance and the capacity of people that sail on those ships. So I understand why they kind of moved from that choice.
But which do you prefer? If you could only pick one, I like the smaller, I think.
Yeah, I do too.
It feels more quality. The quality feels higher, but that's just an opinion. But us on the deck 4 and all the woodwork on board that ship feels of a higher quality.
Other areas, things that on the outdoor areas, especially a lot more automation. So that has been a refurbishment in the last year or two. And we're now seeing the Dream also has a little bit more of that now too, where it's more hands-free. So you just kind of scan your hand, doors open now. Elevators are still old and smaller, but have some upgraded features in terms of the touch
screens and everything.
So that's very nice.
I don't want to move on yet because she brought up the doors. I like the doors on board the Magic better. On board the Dream, the doors never stood out to me, good or bad. They're just the doors you use to get out, get in. On board the Magic, they're grand. These doors.
Oh yeah.
I just almost smacked you. I'm sorry. I went poof. No, everyone.
Like a grand and miraculous.
Safe for at all costs. But no, it's walking out, let's say outside the deck 4 from inside on board the Magic, just it feels better. The doors are much more, bad use of the word, but dramatic opening.
Yeah, and you can tell they have that inspiration from kind of classic luxury liners like the Titanic and stuff like that. Just the way that the doors and stuff are built.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
All right, so that's kind of the main ones I had. Brandon, let's go with
I'm just going to go
Brandon's
through
round of hodgepodge notes.
We did that. Okay, let's go back to deck 4 again, everyone, shall we? I love this, and I know, I hope Disney does this on board the Magic, but they probably won't. I love that on board the Disney Wish. Did I say Magic or Wish?
You said Magic.
Magic. I meant the Wish. They probably won't do this on board the Wish, but I wish they would because they do it on board the Magic. I like it, the front, the bow of the ship on deck 4, you can actually see them working. You see all the anchors.
Oh, yeah.
You see the machinery.
This is Brandon's favorite thing.
This was awesome. I don't know why, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it to any Disney cast member. I'll say it to Bob Chapek himself. I really wish Disney, and I'm sure there's liability issues so they can't, I wish they'd have tours of like the engine rooms and the bridges. I'd pay for it to see all that stuff working and humming and industry big and bold, you know. But yeah, so I love at the bow of the ship on deck 4, you can't go in and, I mean, you can look at it, but, you know, there's barricades, but you can look into the section of where the anchors are and all these big chains and everything, and machinery humming and everything.
Brandon was so excited, and we filmed a bunch of it, but we didn't include a lot of it in the video because it was so loud. So I'll try to include some as we're talking over this. You'll probably see some here.
Awesome, and again, I'm sure the Dream doesn't do that. It's just goes around. The Wish probably won't do it, but maybe. I hope it does. But it's very cool to see some inner workings, and I think sometimes behind the scenes stuff is very cool to see. And it's just such huge machinery, but very cool. So we got that. Anything you want to say about it?
No.
Okay. I got it. Everyone I'm reading.
He's got all the notes.
Yep. Okay, we did that. Okay. This is minor, but let's talk about the funnels, the big red funnels on board the ships. Okay. They're more impressive on the larger ships.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like Aqueduct versus Aquadunk. Like,
I admit, on the smaller ship, on the Magic, not let down. I was like, they're very tiny.
They're wee.
Yeah, they're very wee. They're very grandiose on board the larger ships, and I think a lot more impressive. Again, very minor, but it stood out to me enough to write it down.
We actually get
we
all
may have
of
actually
the notes?
Okay. I put the larger ships are newer looking, like the paint and stuff.
Oh,
As of now, this is very minor. Like the stuff we're scratching the bottom of the barrel, everyone. I love that the entire Disney fleet has the same general look. The blue, the white, the red.
The color scheme.
The color scheme is the exact same. We noticed when we actually got up close to the ship, it looked great. No one takes care of their ships like Disney. Point blank, I think everyone knows that.
The Magic is from 1998,
and
so
it looks amazing.
Phenomenal.
It's just that I think the Dream looks like it's newer, but none of the blue is faded on board the Dream kind of stuff. Do you know? Does that make sense? Again, this is very minor, and I'm just kind of. It stood out where it's like, okay, a little like at the bottom of the ship where the water line is. Looks a little
and there's like I said, they're doing a great job. It just you can tell it's an older ship.
You can tell.
Just naturally, it's an older
that's
ship.
a better way of saying it. You can looking at them if they were just side by side. If you didn't judge on size, you can tell it's an older ship.
Yeah.
But it still looks great. Okay, this is minor, but I like on the larger ships, the Dream, there are outside. When you look down on the Dream, like when you're outside on your veranda or on the deck 4 or on the upper deck, and you look down at night, there's lights under the water, which lights the water of the around the ship up this nice, cool blue. If the Magic does that, we didn't see it, and we were looking for it. I don't think they have it on board the ship. Again, very minor, more of an aesthetical thing, but it's very cool. Mm-hmm. It's very cool. You can look down and actually see the water around the ship versus just gaze into the abyss, and the abyss will gaze back at you. But no, the blue water lights are really cool. And this is going to be bizarre, everybody, but I have the portholes at night.
This was like Brandon's.
This was almost angering me.
Yeah,
not literally.
I don't know. You got so upset about this.
I got upset. Here's the thing, everyone. And if you've gotten this far in the video, you might go, "Really, you're going there?"
Brandon and his aesthetics.
I'm going there. I don't know why. I'm sure maybe someone can leave a comment for real if you know why. I'm sure it's whatever it's coated with or something like that. But on the Dream, the portholes. Let's say it's 8 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter what time. It's dark out. You can go up to the portholes and actually look out, though. Mm-hmm. You can see out the portholes at night. Maybe a ship in the distance, or look down and see those blue lights in the water. On board the Magic, once it got dark out, you could not see out those portholes. It was just like a mirror reflecting back in. You could see yourself. It didn't matter unless you got up and did this, you weren't looking out. And again, some people it's minor, but aesthetically, I really like walking around a larger ship.
I was heartbroken.
I was heartbroken. I like walking down these hallways at night.
He is a man of the sea.
I'm a man of the sea, everyone. Sometimes a man needs to go to the sea. But I like walking down these hallways at night, looking out and just seeing the ocean or seeing, you know, whatever, or just, it wasn't a reflection of me and the hallway behind me. Does that make sense? Again, that's the best I'm going to explain it. Very minor. It would never, ever get me not to go back on board a ship. But it was one of those, every time I saw it, I was like, really? I want to look out. I don't want to see a reflection of everything inside. But again, very minor. Overall, though, that's it. That's it, everyone. Right? You got all your stuff?
I got all the stuff.
You got all your stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. We enjoy both ships thoroughly. Both styles of ships. We're going to thoroughly enjoy the Triton class. It's going to be incredible. But, Sarah, let me throw it at you.
Which ship do I like better?
Which ship do you like better overall? If you could go on the same itinerary, no difference. It could be a 3-day, a 4-day, a 5-day. It could be a 2-week cruise.
Oh, man.
And pretend that neither of these ships has like, oh, this ship shouldn't do a 14-day cruise because of the size, or it can't get to the Panama Canal or something.
This is really
You
tough.
can do anything. It's strictly, we're talking about the ships itself.
I don't know. I don't know if I can pick.
You have to.
It's hard.
Our viewers demand it.
It's really hard.
I'm going to pick one, but it's just ever so slight.
I'm going to kind of go the Magic.
I'm going to go the Magic.
Only because, and again, it was the whole experience. It's the it's the dining. It's the theme of the classic ship. It's the cast members. It's just everything together felt cozy and nice and relaxing, and I don't know, a little less hubbub than you get on the Dream. Like, it just felt like we're just we're chillaxing. It
felt like more chillaxing on board the smaller ship than the larger ship. Even the same day cruise.
Yeah, I feel like we were running it all, and sometimes I feel like on the Dream we're running, and maybe that's just because of the distances, and I don't know.
No, you don't feel it. You are. I think on the larger ships you're running around more.
But I absolutely love the Dream, and to me the Dream is our home ship.
Yeah, the Dream is our home ship.
And so I always will want to go on the Dream, but I kind of want to go back on the Magic.
I want to go back on the Magic too. Also, speaking of size differences, we learned this on board this cruise. This is about the ship. So I just remembered it right now. It just came to me. A lot of times, if you've read other people's thoughts on cruising, if you've watched other vlogs or even our vlogs, and watch everyone's, cruising's great. People talk about sometimes how you can't dock at Castaway Cay because the waves and the weather conditions. We learned Sarah learned because she talked to people.
Again, I don't know how accurate it was.
We know. The crew member said it, so I'm going to go with it. It's accurate. If there's rough weather conditions or water, all that stuff, you are overwhelmingly more likely to dock still at Castaway Cay on board a smaller ship than a larger ship. Evidently, the smaller ships for the crew and the captain and the pilots and everything are vastly easier to dock than the larger ships. So
that's what the cast member said.
I
don't know if it's true or not, but
to me, it passes the smell test. That makes sense to me. Smaller is easier to probably maneuver in and everything in rougher conditions. So very cool. Another reason for the slightly smaller ship. But yeah, if we could combine them both, and maybe the Wish will be that combination. Who knows?
No, the Wish is going to be
it's going to be bigger, but maybe it'll feel.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm hoping, everyone. No, Dream is amazing. Sarah said it already. It's our home ship.
Yeah, and of course, it's going to depend on the itineraries that you go on. If you are sailing out of Florida and maybe looking at a Caribbean or Bahamian cruise, you're almost always going to be on some of these ships, like the Dream or the Fantasy, or even coming soon, the Wish. The Magic only is here certain times of year because most often it is in Europe. So summertime, Magic is over there. Wonder, same thing. You're going to see it down like the California, Baja area, but then also Alaska. So it just really depends also on the itinerary. So you may have a reason you like those classic ships partially because of the destination it goes to.
Yeah, and like the one we haven't been on yet, the
Wonder.
The Wonder. We've been trying Alaska. We're trying to come for you.
One day.
But yeah, so we can't wait. As everyone knows, we do, and we said it in our last video, September we have the Wish as of now, so
and
we can't wait for that.
possibly some other stuff coming soon too.
Who
knows?
Who knows? But yeah, so again, we hope you enjoyed this. We kind of rambled here and there, but
it's what we do.
It's what we do. And anything else?
No, with that, I now want to go on a Disney cruise right now.
Who doesn't? Everyone, let's go. Let's meet at Port Canaveral. When this gets posted, meet us there in 6 hours. We're going to be there. No, we're not.
Let's go.
Let's go. So yeah.
If you have questions or comments, again, we're just kind of freeform sharing our experiences, but we would love to hear your thoughts on
very
the
much.
cruise ships
Yes.
and the sizes or just general things you have about cruising. Feel free to put those in the comments.
Honestly, if you agreed with everything we said, by all means, say you did. If you thought we got it wrong or you completely disagree with something, you comment.
Or if you have other things
or if you have other things to add or stuff we missed out on that you prefer versus the larger versus the smaller ships, anything, but please add it.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to have Dreams of Disney Cruise Line in our heads.
So thank you to all the patrons on Patreon. Everyone's amazing. Thank you to all the subscribers. Please like, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell, and do leave a comment. But with that, we're going to be sailing away.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.